That's the sound of water dripping on a hard surface. It's probably something that you've seen and ignored many times. Here's what's crazy, bro. Scientists say that every time water drips on a hard surface, that water droplet at that scale, it behaves like a tiny bomb. That every time it drops on that hard surface, at a very small level, beyond what the naked eye can see, that water droplet creates tiny craters in that surface that we can't see. And yet, when water drips on a surface over and over again, give it time, and it creates what we know in the scientific world as water erosion. Water erosion, consistently over time, it creates craters and cracks in whatever hard surface the water drips upon it. And the crazy part, bro, is that the reason why water erosion is able to literally crack open rocks and crack wide canyons is not because of the force of the drip. Woo! I need to calm down. It's because of the consistency of the drip. Bro, consistency is the name of the game. What could your life look like if you were consistent? What could your 30s, your 40s, your 50s look like if you could be consistent now in your 20s? And this idea of consistency, man, is what Darren Hardy calls in his book, The Compound Effect. Now, here's the principle of the compound effect, okay? The principle of the compound effect is small, consistent actions, when repeated over time, can lead to significant and exponential results. I'm gonna say that one more time. Small, consistent actions, when repeated over time, can lead to significant and exponential results. Most guys that I talk to in their 20s, they desire to be consistent. But what is consistency? It's small, consistent actions, small, repeated actions that when repeated, when done over and over, the same way over time, can lead to significant and exponential results. Now, let me tell you something about consistency that I think a lot of us, especially guys in our 20s, that we miss. We think that consistency is rigidity. Woo! This is going to be good. We think that consistency is doing the same thing, the same way, at the same time, in the same manner, every single day, every single week, every single year. Here's the problem. That's not real life. In life, you have disruptions. In life, you have interruptions. In life, you have responsibilities. In life, you have emergencies. In life, you have chaos. In life, you have things that just come up. So consistency is not rigidity. Consistency is fluidity. My boy, man, first of all, dog, I appreciate you hanging out with me in this episode, man. Do me a favor. If you enjoying this kind of content, you already know how I'm about to say, like, comment, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. At the end of the day, I'm going to be honest with you, bro. It's not really for me, even though I would appreciate it. It's more so because I want you to share this with somebody else. I know there's somebody in your circle of influence who could benefit from this conversation, right? Number two, listen, man, if you want to dominate, I'm talking about you want to win in your 20s. You want to dominate your physical life, your emotional life, your spiritual life, your mental life, your relational life, your financial life. You want to dominate. Listen to me. Do me a favor. Find me on IG at @the1maxgomez. That's it. @the1maxgomez. Hit me up on IG with the word consistency. You send me a DM with the word consistency, I'll go ahead and get you that 10% discount so we can get you locked in so you can dominate your 20s, all right? Now, let's go ahead and get back to the conversation. Did you catch that? Being consistent does not mean you do the same thing in the same way at the same time in the same place every single day, every single week, every single month, every single year, every single decade. Consistency is I do the same thing no matter what the outside circumstances may be. So what does that look like? Hypothetically, if you want to work out, you are consistently working out, even if the gym is closed, even if you don't have your protein shake, even if you only have 30 minutes instead of your full hour, even if you got to pick up the kids late from school, even if the job went over, even if the business meeting went over, it doesn't matter what happens, doesn't matter how you feel, even if you do 10 push-ups, I go in and do something. It's called consistency, and consistency is not rigidity. Consistency is fluidity. Does that make sense right now, bro? I want you to be consistent, but don't be so rigid about it, because a lot of us, man, we're perfectionists. So if it isn't a certain way, then we would discard the whole thing. No. Even if you can do just a little bit, do that, because slow motion is better than no motion. Some progress is better than no progress. Little action is better than no action. Do something. Consistency is the name of the game. Your greatest strength is your consistency. But the flip side is also true. Your greatest weakness is your lack of consistency. Well, how do you build consistency, Max? I'm so glad you asked. Here it is, bro. Consistency has to be personalized, because how I build consistency for me may not be the same way that consistency needs to be built for you. But the principles of consistency are the same. What is it? Small, consistent actions, repeated over time, can lead to significant and exponential results. So, what is something small that you can start doing? Well, first, before we get to that, we first got to analyze, who are you? Because a lot of times, we want to do consistent things without first being a consistent person. You cannot do anything before you become the kind of person that can do the kind of thing. Does that make sense? So, who are you? It's an identity thing. And I'm not here to make a video about identity, but I am here to make a point that whatever possesses you is what positions you. What does that mean? That means that whatever you think you are correct, whether you can or you can't, you are correct. So I am intentional about reframing my mindset. And listen to me, I'm not being some over the top guru. I'm telling you what it is. I am consistent. And I reinforce that thought process because I am that person. I may not feel like I am that person. I may not act like I am that person. I may not move like I am that person, but I am that person. Because whatever you believe about yourself, that's how you start moving with yourself. Whatever possesses you will position you. If what possesses my mind is that I am consistent, I am about this life, I am him, then I will be consistent. But first, I want you to reframe and start talking to yourself. That's what the old gospel song would say, encourage yourself. You are consistent. So first of all, who are you? Let's get that out the way first. First, be the man that is consistent. And then you can do the consistency so you can have the results of consistency. That's number one. Number two, why are you doing what you're doing? See, consistency by itself does not work. You need your why. Why do you want to be consistent with this? You got to find out why. Answer that question, why? Now, here is where we get into the nitty gritty, okay? How are you going to be consistent? Now, here is where a lot of us mess up, man. Just recently, the Eagles and the Chiefs had the Super Bowl, right? And here's the truth. You take out Jalen Hurts and you put another QB that's just as good as him, they would have won the Super Bowl. You take out LeBron James from the Lakers and put someone who's just as good as LeBron James as the Lakers are still going to win games. Why? Because the Eagles and the Lakers and any other sports arena or any business arena, anything in the world that works because it has a system. And systems are the epitome of consistency. When you build a system, so what? So that there are sequential steps that happen in a certain order so that you can automate success. You want the thing to do the same thing all the time. That's called a system. And that system creates consistency. You want to know why you have no earthly idea what you're doing, how you're going to do it, or where you're going to go? Because you don't have a system. So let's fix that right now. Remember, consistency, the principle of consistency is small, consistent actions when repeated over time that can lead to significant and exponential results. So here's the question. What small things can you start changing? That's why we get this from the book, Atomic Habits. You don't have to change everything, but what small thing can you change in your life that will have such a significant impact on the rest of your life? Does that make sense right now, bro? What small, consistent action can you start taking? But you got to answer the question, how am I going to do it? So, for example, let's say I want to wake up at 5 a.m. That's the easy one. Well, if that's what you want to start doing consistently so you can dominate your day, how are you going to do that? Well, what's your system? Well, first of all, if you want to wake up at 5, you got to go to sleep at a certain time. But in order for you to go to sleep at a certain time, there are certain things you must start doing, and there are certain things you must stop doing in order for you to achieve that desired outcome of sleeping at a certain time so you can have the sufficient amount of sleep so you can wake up at 5 a.m. So you've got to figure, okay, if I want to wake up at 5 a.m., I've got to reverse engineer what's my system, right? So by 10, I need to be in bed. I'm talking about like out. So that means by 9 p.m. I need to be like brushing my teeth. Like I'm brushing my teeth. I'm doing my skincare. I'm drinking my water. I'm peeing. I've already showered. Whatever. I'm at 9 p.m. I'm getting ready for bed, which means by 8 I need to already have dinner. Which means by 8:30, whatever electronics, whatever TV show, whatever game, I'm not watching anymore. That's called a system, right? In other words, in a system, nothing is left to chance. Do you realize that the device that you are watching this on right now, it has a built-in system? You're confident in the success of that device to do what you wanted to do because what the device is producing was not left to chance. It's been thought out that every time the user does this, the device does that. And every time the device does that, or rather, every time the user does that, the device does this. Does that make sense? It's a system. And systems leave nothing to chance. So whatever it is that you're trying to do, I want to wake up at 5 a.m. Okay, what are you going to do to wake up at 5 a.m.? How are you going to do it? Where are you going to do it? When are you going to do it? It's the same thing over and over and over again. I have a system that I create these YouTube channels, these YouTube videos. But I have a system that at a certain time, I get up from what I'm doing and I make these videos. On a certain day, I make these videos. For a certain time, I make these videos. For a certain length of time, I make these videos. But there's also some things that come before the video. I've got to prep the area. I've got to write the script. I've got to study. I've got to make sure that I'm up here and I know what I'm talking about so I can deliver as much value to you as the viewer and the listener. I've had a system that's called an automatic way of success. And I'm able to do this consistently because I've got a system. Here's the crazy part, bro, and I'm done. When you are able to build your system around the thing that you want to do you realize, bro, that systems build mastery? What's mastery? Mastery, I love how Myron Golden said it, is the ability to execute effortlessly without the conscious use of resources, or without the use of conscious resources. I'm going to say that one more time. I got rewind in my mind. Mastery is the ability to execute effortlessly without the use of conscious resources. In other words, mastery is I'm able to do a thing not until I don't get it. I'm able to do a thing not until I get it right, but until I can't get it wrong. That's mastery. Mastery is I'm able to do something not until I get it right, but until I can't get it wrong. How do you build mastery? Consistency. How do you build consistency? You build a system. And once you master one thing, you can then master another thing. And now you are doing what they call mastery stacking. That's what I want for you, bro. I want you to master I want you to dominate your life, but you dominate your life by being consistent. What is consistent? Small, consistent actions, when repeated over time, can lead to significant and exponential results. Bro, listen, talk to me, man. Talk to me, man. How are you going to build your systems? Talk to me in the comments, bro. I want to hear how you're going to do this, man, because I want to see you dominate, my boy. I want to see you dominate your life, all the areas of your life. I want you to be a master over your life, man. So listen, man, I hope you enjoyed this. I hope this was of value to you, my boy. I appreciate you hanging it, man, kicking it, maxing, and relaxing with me. And I'm going to catch you next time, bro, all right?